Hi, parents. This is Joffrey Swait, Kepler Chief Academic Advisor, and probably the main Kepler person who talks to you and your kids besides your teachers. I want to talk today about presence online, about being online, being on Kepler, and particularly on Kepler's social platforms. So one of the most important things I will outline in today's video is sort of where Kepler ends and where the life of your students online might continue. I want to give some helpful tips to parents, both in using Kepler platforms and also in thinking about your child being online. Online education is the course that you've decided to take for your family. We think it's a wonderful and powerful tool. It does have the issues that you need to be aware of. And of course, we exist online, all of us, to one degree or another. And so then we'll talk a little more generally about things that hopefully you'll find helpful. And of course, each family will make the decisions for its children that it thinks best. So let's start out by talking about where Kepler exists online. So, of course, when you enroll in a class, you are put onto the Canvas platform. That's our learning management system. That's where all the class information, the grades, the assignments get posted. Many teachers will use the discussion feature in Canvas to have conversations about class material with their students. Emails and the inbox feature for Canvas are used a lot. And we do ask our teachers to copy parents on every communication that they have with their students. I will observe that a lot of students don't necessarily observe that, right? So I know that I personally, when I reply back, try to always add the parents back in. And usually there's nothing sinister there. It's just simply that the student is occupied with the thought of simply communicating with the teacher. But we want to encourage as much parental involvement and awareness as is possible. Now, many classes will also use other areas to communicate. So, for example, some of our classes use curricula that exist online elsewhere. Our math teachers, for example, someone may use a CTC platform, or I in my Latin class use Pictodicta. Some of them are interactive and some are not. Pictodicta, for example, is not interactive between students. Kepler exists on Slack for students. So Slack is a platform. It's basically a chat platform that's supercharged, right? So you can send messages back and forth, but files as well. And it's designed for the workplace. A lot of schools use this platform. And so because it's designed for work, it's ideal for things like, for example, my son's robotics club. Very naturally, though, because of the world that we live in currently, the platforms that are popular currently, and what students want to do, there is often a move to Discord, and I'll talk about Discord shortly. So again, kind of going back to my son's robotics club, which has nothing to do with Kepler. That's actually kind of why I'm using it as an example. They work on Slack, but they talk to each other on Discord, something to be highly aware of, and something that I'll unpack a little shortly. Well, how does Kepler exist on Slack? We have the Kepler Quad, and the Kepler Quad is sort of the online existence of Kepler Life as a whole. So we have a lot of clubs, and the kids participate in clubs and activities. But what the platform where it all is sort of comes together, where students can talk to each other, just generally, is the Kepler Quad, which is a Slack group. This year, we've seen an uptick in parents accepting invites to join. We would absolutely love for every parent to be a part of the Kepler Quad, and even to participate. Like if someone is talking about a subject that you know something of or that you want to talk about, please feel free to be involved. There are several Kepler staff and teachers who are around the Quad. I myself am constantly interacting with the students. It's important to be aware that the Kepler Quad is an official Kepler space, but anywhere online, including the Kepler Quad, really it's possible for the students to speak to each other by themselves without any adults around. Just as it's possible in a school for a couple of kids in the back of the room to have a conversation, or in the hallway, or in the bathroom, or wherever it is, right? So what we try to do is create a godly, healthy atmosphere where kids can talk to each other, and we want to encourage public conversation, general conversation, conversation that includes everybody, all ages, all grades, etc. But private messaging can and does happen. So that's something to be aware of. One of the most important things that parents should understand, whether we're talking about an official Kepler space or not, that whatever rules your family has are the most important thing for your child as they interact. And we would encourage you to be active in continuing to be engaged, vigilant, aware, whether it's an official Kepler thing or not. I will show you just sort of briefly. I don't want to show the whole Slack because that'll put some names on this video. But you can see here a lot of the channels that are available. Some of them have locks. I can see them because I'm the admin. Those are the clubs that we're going to open back up soon. So for music club and film club, those will be open again soon. But then the ones with hashtags are the public channels. So the general conversation, Latin practice. We have a space called Random and Entertainment for the kids to post memes or post jokes or whatever they want to do. And in fact, if we didn't have that, then it would all end up funneled into the general channel. So we have that as a sort of outlet, and some great hilarious stuff gets put in there. But that's what the Kepler Quad looks like, and this is where our students hang out. Now let's start talking about Discord. Some of the clubs also communicate on Discord, and teachers are involved there. But it's important to understand that outside of the student government Discord, there is no official Kepler presence on Discord. I have asked the student body to make sure that any Discords that they have together don't have any Kepler markings and Kepler in the name. And as far as I know, that is the case. But there are a lot of Discords out there that students use to talk to each other. And one of the words that has recently been said to me about Discord is that there's a proliferation, right? Each Discord channel, each group, if you want to think of it as a Facebook group, is called a server. So a proliferation of servers. So it's important to be aware that if you allow your child to use Discord, that one server will lead to another very naturally. People will invite each other to their servers. It almost feels like their own little home, and people will bounce back and forth. And it is not uncommon for teenagers and adults, because it started as a video gaming communication service, to belong to dozens and even hundreds of Discord servers. So Kepler is Canvas and the Kepler Quad. Outside of that, students talk to each other, but really what we would say to parents is, whether it's an official Kepler platform or not, be aware, be engaged, and I think it's very important, especially to understand how Discord works. We want to build good things and build things for good. And we want to equip our students to be able to be in the world glorifying Christ. And so to that end, to have community and conversation toward that end, we exist online and things like the Kepler Quad. But we also understand that wherever people are, there are people, right? And we understand that all of us sin. So we would ask that parents continue to be vigilant, and that they not exclude anything that's Kepler from their online family culture. So whatever it is that your family does to be safe, wholesome, and holy online, continue to exercise with Kepler. As invites to the Kepler Quad come out, we encourage Kepler parents to go ahead and join. Finally, whether you have any questions now or if any issues arise or any questions come up during the term, please don't hesitate to email me or call me. All that information is available on our website and from the various emails that we may have exchanged. You can also go ahead and get in touch with Mrs. Christofferson to put you in touch with me. So don't hesitate to reach out. One of my favorite aspects of Kepler, and I think one of the favorite aspects for many students, is our community, is our social existence, is our ability to talk to each other, whether we're in Alaska or Texas or Switzerland. So I want to encourage families to continue to build that up and to be active, joyful participants in it so that we create an atmosphere that glorifies Christ and elevates and sanctifies each other. Thanks so much for your time.